I remember watching that first championship we won with my dad and a couple other ones, and just how excited, that was one thing me and my dad, we like doing, man. As you can see, it's, 10:54. 10:54 p.m. This news, Central Time Zone, by the way. The Nick Saban news, it came out at about, roughly 4 p.m. Central Time, something like that. And I gave you guys, I'm sure many of you, if you're watching this video, you watched the previous video. My autofocus. I think it's better. Anyways, if you're watching this video, I assume you more than likely watched the emergency video. That was my immediate reaction. I didn't even know if it was true at that point in time when we was talking about it. And I've now had about we'll call it roughly 7 hours since that immediate reaction. And yeah, it's starting to sit in a little bit with me. A little bit, not fully. A little bit. Nick Saban's retiring, and it hurts. That's the only thing I need to say. And I want to read y'all off what Nick Saban and Miss Terry had to say about this. I'll read you off what Miss Terry had to say, because I think her words, they were a little bit better. Because Nick Saban, he keeps it short and sweet because he talks to the press all the time. But Miss Terry, I like what she had to say. It has been an incredible run these last 17 years at the University of Alabama, and we take with us many amazing memories. We hope that the Saban legacy will be about helping others and making a positive difference in people's lives, as well as the winning tradition on the field. Our Nick's Kids Foundation will continue to help children, student, and teacher causes in the state of Alabama. The rules for the game of football may change, but the process will never go out of style. Hard work, discipline, the relentless pursuit of a worthy goal, not cutting corners, and doing things the right way for the sake of constant personal improvement, not for the scoreboard. Alabama will always feel like sweet home to our family, and we'll be cheering Roll Tide. And when I read that the first time, I got emotional, man. It's just, I can't tell you enough how much, as an Alabama fan myself, how much not only Nick Saban means to me and all the Alabama fans, but Miss Terry. She's just as important to Alabama as Nick Saban is. And if you're an Alabama fan, you know this. And before we go any farther, I want to go downstairs. And the main reason I'm making this video, actually, let me explain this, is because I want to give you my 7 hour later thoughts, I guess you shall say, if that makes any sense. I want to give you my thoughts with all of it setting in, but also I just want to remember Nick Saban. And I also want to state this. In my immediate reaction, I was talking about how it shocked me, and it did shock me, and it still shocked me how Nick Saban retired. And I feel like he had a couple more years left in the tank. He had at least 1 or 2 championships left, and we could have squeezed the lemon a little bit more. That's what I said. And I don't apologize for saying that, because that's how I felt, and it's how I still currently feel. But I do apologize for not touching on this. I didn't even think about this. Nick Saban is 72, right? I believe he's 72. 99% sure on that. He doesn't need to squeeze it. We don't need him to squeeze the lemon. He needs to, not needs to, but I'm sure he wants to, enjoy the rest of his life. And I failed to touch on this. If it was just coaching, yeah, he could do it all the time. But the recruiting, you're flying on private planes to this kid's house, this kid's high school, making all these phone calls, text messages, and then on top of that, you're showing up to practice, making sure this person's doing what they're supposed to do. This person, making sure everybody's passing their classes. And I know he's got people that helps him out, but he oversees all this stuff. You're working essentially 15, 16 hours per day. Every waking second, you are working. That was his life. And mentally, of course, it's taxing, but I think physically that can take a toll on you because you're recruiting, you're going everywhere, you're doing all this. It's time for him to enjoy his vacation, and I'm going to clap it up to him. And this won't be the last time I say this to Nick Saban and Miss Terry. Thank y'all. And y'all went above and beyond, not just for the Alabama football program, but for the players, the university. They did so many great things off the field, and I'm greatly appreciative for all of that. And I'm proud to be an Alabama fan. Like I said in the video uploaded a couple hours ago, it's a sad day for Alabama football, not because we're losing Nick Saban. I want people to understand, I'm not sad because potentially Alabama's going to lose more games, and I'm not sad because we're losing a guy who won 7 national championships. No, take the championships away. I am sad that we are losing a guy that wasn't just a great football head coach, but was an even better person. He had high integrity, great morals, and that's what I'm saddened by. Nick Saban was much more than a college football coach. Great leader, great motivator. And I'm going to take y'all downstairs because I want to show y'all something, because I'm thinking about all the memories. That's what I'm currently thinking about, and I'm going to think about it not just the next day or night, but probably the next couple of years, the memories we made and the memories that I shared involving Nick Saban, because, man, he was an important part of my life, man. Let me show y'all this. We're going to go downstairs. I'll show y'all this. I don't know if y'all seen that. Yeah, the Spider-Man 3 poster. What y'all know about the original Spider-Man? By the way, the original Spider-Man's the best. I don't want to hear anybody talking about whatchamacallit, the new one. No. The originals with Tobey Maguire, they're the best. Hopefully y'all can see. The lighting might not be too good. I don't know if I've ever seen this room, guys. We're in the pool table room. No, it's gonna echo a little bit, but get y'all a little closer here. This is sort of like my memorabilia area where I have a bunch of Alabama football stuff, because upstairs in the movie room, I don't have a lot of Alabama stuff. I sort of dedicated the room to this stuff, and I know the lighting's not the best and the audio's not the best, but let me show y'all this. Because some people say, Matt's a bandwagoner. Oh, really? Why don't y'all read this? What does that say? 2009. This was the first championship ball. My mom got me this. Shout out to my mom. Read it and weep. 37-21. Special moment, man. I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember when Saban got to Alabama. He had that legendary speech and whatnot. But not only that, that's the pro throw catch. I don't know if y'all can see that. I'm not going to take it down. It's Tyron pro throw. And then over here, I don't show y'all too much. We got that one 2011 when we beat LSU. So just want to show y'all that because I was thinking about that. I walked downstairs and I was like, you know what? I'm going to show them that because let's flip it around here. Show the score, 21-0 shutout. What about that? Those were some special moments with Nick Saban. And I'll show y'all these. The Rocky Block. And then over here, the Texas one. We're going to go upstairs though. Well, that's enough of that. Just want to show y'all those because I thought about them. I was like, man, this felt like yesterday. We was beating Texas with that backup quarterback, Garrett Gilbert. Wasn't that his name? I believe it was. Fix this. Yeah, I think we're good to go. So many special moments I'm thinking about. It's all hitting me now. And I remember when Saban got there and watching that press conference, me and my dad, I was about 7 years old, and I remember watching that first championship we won with my dad and a couple other ones, and just how excited, that was one thing me and my dad, we like doing, man. It's tough, man. I just think about all the memories and time flies. Time flies, but I remember watching those the LSU championship with my dad. I remember watching the Texas one with my dad. I remember watching the Notre Dame one. That one too. I got that. Is that the ball? Yeah, that's the ball I got in here. Notre Dame one. Remember that like it was yesterday. There's a lot of great moments, man, as a Bama fan and involving Nick Saban, and I always appreciated them. I did. I always felt like, because you hear people say Alabama had entitled fans, or we have entitled fans, and I never really believed that. Because every Alabama fan I've interacted with, and to the entire Alabama fan base, I've always thought we've appreciated them. I've always thought we knew these days of getting these balls and winning championships. They were rare and they were seldom, and we were living in a heck of an era, dynasty, because guys like Nick Saban and dynasties like Bama are once in a blue moon, if that. It's rare. And you got to think about this. Alabama, when you talk about the greatest head coach of all time, it's between two Alabama head coaches, Bear Bryant and Nick Saban. So it's extremely rare to get one outstanding head coach, but Alabama's gotten two. Now, of course, I wasn't alive for the Bear Bryant era, but I was alive for the Saban one. And the chances of us getting another guy like Bear Bryant or Nick Saban ever again, I'm not just talking about the next 100 years while I'm alive, but the next 500 years are slim to none. It's just probably not going to happen again. You got to think about it. It's so weird. It'll be 600 years from now. People are going to be talking about how legendary Nick Saban was. And I got to live it. I got to watch it. It's awesome. And there were so many great memories. I would say, though, my favorite Alabama team was most definitely 2015. I reference him a lot, but that was the year with Jacob Coker. If you're not a Bama fan, you're probably like, who in the crap is that? I don't expect you to know who he is, because he only played college football seemingly 1 year. Transfer from Florida State. Was like the third string quarterback on the depth chart when he got there. Winds up beating out Blake Barnett and Cooper Bateman for the job. The game in which he won the job, he was a backup in against Ole Miss. We lost the game because we had 5 turnovers. I remember that game like it was yesterday. We kicked off like 8:30. Ole Miss had Chad Kelly. They beat us 43-37 in our own home stadium. But, not Cooper Bateman, my apologies. Jacob Coker came in, and you got the sense and vibe like, okay, we lost the game, but we got our quarterback, and then he took over. That was Derrick Henry's Heisman season. I know y'all remember him. That year was so special to me because we were not very good. We had a good defense, or a great defense at that. But offense, we just had Calvin Ridley. I know it's crazy just saying we just had Calvin Ridley and Derrick Henry. But that's really all we had. We wasn't that great of a team. There's a lot of question marks heading into the season, similar as this year. That's also why I love this team in this season so much. I thought they were special. And I was wanting them to win a championship because it would have put the cherry on top. But rather less, this year, and this team was so special just because we weren't supposed to be here. We were not supposed to be in the championship. There were so many games this year, not just one, but there was multiple games we won that we shouldn't have. And you look up and we're in the playoff. And we're beating the national champion by 7 with 4 minutes to go. And we couldn't close the deal. I'm not going to get started on that. And Matt, don't get started. Okay, I'm not getting started on that, but a very special year. Just couldn't cap it off. But obviously, we're here to talk about everything with Saban. Definitely, let me know in the comment section, what's your favorite Bama team? I would say 2015. It's got to be my favorite. I love the A.J. McCarron years. Those were special. Greg McElroy, he was the first quarterback to win us a championship, although he was a game manager at best. And that might even be sugarcoating it. He wasn't very good. Love me some McElroy, but y'all know. He wasn't good. A.J. McCarron, Alabama legend. Running backs, I love Mark Ingram. So I love T.J. Yeldon. I always thought he was a highly underrated running back. Love T.J. Yeldon, Damian Harris. And man, it's crazy to think. It felt like just yesterday we was heading to the 4-team playoff. It felt like just yesterday LSU beat us in the game of the century in 2011, 9-6 on them field goals. And I remember watching that one with my dad, and there were just so many great moments, man, I got to experience at such a young age that I'm grateful for. And like I was saying, I don't think Bama fans, well, let me reset my camera. Sorry about this, guys. All right, there we go. Yeah, running out of time. I really don't believe Bama fans take anything for granted. Because every Bama fan I've talked to is always talking about how we better relish in this and cherish it because it ain't going to be like this forever. And especially the older Bama fans, older than me in their late 30s and 40s and 50s, they're always telling me, like, man, you lucky you wasn't alive for the Mike Shula days. So, yeah, I think Bama fans are very appreciative. Don't get me wrong, we got our fair share of bad fans that are entitled, but every fan base has good fans and bad fans. It's the same thing with cities. I've always thought it was weird when people say, oh, this city sucks. Well, perspective's everything, because I could go to Nashville and I may have a bad experience. So, of course, I'll tell people, oh, yeah, I don't like Nashville, but Joe or Bob, they may go up there and have a great, you see what I'm saying? There's bad people in every city. There's good people in every city. Same thing with fan bases. There's great Alabama fans. There's bad Alabama fans. But for the most part, I love the Alabama fan base. I think we're good. Am I biased? I don't know. I'm a Bama fan. You can say I'm biased, but I think the Alabama fan base, my apologies, is very respectable. Very respectable. Especially in the later stages of Nick Saban's career, because we knew this day was coming. And dang, man. We had some good times, man. We had some real good times and real good memories. But just like they say, all good things must come to an end. It's true. It's true. It's so weird. I've tried imagining another head coach running out of that tunnel, but I can't do it. Anybody runs out of that tunnel next year, and they're the head coach. I'm still going to feel like it's Nick Saban's team and program because that's all I've come to know. Ever since I could start keeping up with Alabama football, he was the head coach. It's all I know, man. It's all I know. It's going to take some getting used to. And as far as it goes for winning and losing, I'm going to be honest. You can believe this if you want. It doesn't matter to me. That's the last thing I'm concerned about. I'm not concerned about that whatsoever. I'm just thinking about all the great memories we had, and I'm just thinking about integrity. I want a coach with integrity. I want a head coach who has the same morals and principles as Nick Saban. Hard work, discipline, all that stuff. Okay? Whether we win or lose games, that's an uncontrollable. What we can control is how we act on and off the field. And that's one thing you can't say about Alabama football. We've always acted great on the field and great off the field, and we have a high standard. And if you're not, autofocus, there we go, autofocus was messing up. If you're not living up to the standard, then you get the boot. Okay, I don't want to turn to one of these programs where we just put winning over everything. No. There's a way to do things, okay? That winning over everything mentality, yeah, it works good in the short term, but long term, heck to the no. There's many more things I could say, but I just wanted to talk about some of the memories I had. And yeah, it's starting to set in with me. It's starting to, but it really hasn't. So I'm going to go to bed. It's late. And we'll talk about this tomorrow, probably. Let me know your thoughts down below.